The Bears have won 2 of their last 3 games and go back into primetime this Sunday night against the Los Angeles Chargers at SoFi Stadium. And we had the honor of bringing in former Chicago Bears and former Chargers quarterback Erik Kramer onto the show to break down this game's preview. Erik, welcome back to the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Nick, for having me. It's always good to be talking a little Bear football.
And this is a little bittersweet for you because we are going to have you on for one of the Lions games beforehand, but this is the last team that you played for in the NFL, and you're very active with the Chargers still. So to kind of just go into that subject right out of the gate, Chargers are 2-4. Were you expecting that this year, or were you expecting a better team on the field?
I was expecting Brandon Staley, their head coach, to be fired 3 years ago. That's what I was expecting.
Oh,
And
well.
so they have a high-level Super Bowl contending team. And once again, literally because of one guy, the guy who's at the top of the food chain there, they're not even a contender. They'd be lucky to make the playoffs. So, and the reason he hasn't been fired yet, in my opinion, is because Dean Spanos and the Spanos family is so freaking tight. They will not pay someone to not be there. That's the only reason he's not fired.
And do you think that because of the head coaching situation, so it sounds like that's the reasoning, but do you see that this is a similar situation like Matt Nagy was in Chicago, or is it even worse?
I think it's worse because you tell me, at least Matt Nagy came as a coordinator from one of the most successful offenses in football history. What did Brandon Staley do to even get the job?
I don't even know.
Name it. I don't, because I don't either. He went from a Chicago Bear linebacker coach to San Diego's coach. And here's his qualifications. He would take next to no money compared to other head coaches. That's why. So I'm telling you, that's the only reason why. You tell me, what did he do to deserve? Like, is it going for 4th down every time on the field? Is it going for 2 points every time you play Kansas City and lose? Because if you just kick extra points, you're winning that game. And this was last year, 2 years ago. I just it's hard to watch. And I'm a season ticket holder. And last week against Dallas, they are the most obnoxious fans maybe ever in history. And I'm like, why do I care? Like, I have nothing invested here. And so it was just but it's the Chargers are embarrassingly bad for as good as talent they have.
I mean, they just had Khalil Mack having a 6-sack game against the Raiders a few weeks ago, and you'd be like, wow, they must be doing really well. Nope. You look at the record, and it's the fight of the 2-win team on Sunday Night Football at SoFi.
They squeak by. If they're going to win a game, it's going to be on the last series of the game. Either they score or they prevent someone from scoring. That's the only way they win.
Well, I'm hoping that they don't squeeze by the Chicago Bears, because the Bears have a guy named Tyson Bagent starting Sunday night against the Los Angeles Chargers, someone that you've expressed that you're pretty excited about. So let's just kind of get into that, Erik. Tyson Bagent gets the nod again while Justin Fields is dealing with that dislocated thumb injury. Matt Eberflus came out yesterday and said, or Monday, and pretty much said, hey, he's out. We're going with Tyson Bagent. How can he have success on the road against LA? You kind of hit on that, if they're just simply the coach does what he is doing, he has a good shot. But Tyson Bagent, what's impressing you about him, and how can he beat this LA Chargers team?
Okay, so to your question, how can he go on the road and win, do what he did last week? Here's how. I don't care if he's playing at home at Soldier Field, on the road at SoFi, or in SoFi's parking lot. Here's what's Tyson Bagent is going to do. He's mobile. He's going to drop back as a mobile quarterback. Now, what's his name? Justin Fields, I'm sorry to say, he runs 4.4, 4.5, and drops like he runs 6.5. And so Tyson Bagent is efficient the way he moves around. This is as simple as it is. He makes good decisions. He reads coverages. He looks defenders to open up holes, and he throws accurately. Now, it sounds simple enough. And if you can do that, you can win game after game after game. And don't let me, I know we're going to talk about other things later, but with the defense that's now surging, with the running game that's now come alive, only simply because they get first downs. And here's what impresses me about Tyson Bagent. He in the progression goes high, low, check down, high, low, check down, right to left to right, check down. Check downs equal first downs equal touchdowns. Very simple game. And so here's a guy that I know we were talking about this before. I was a rookie. I was an undrafted free agent. He was an undrafted free agent. There's no way as an undrafted free agent. I was the ACC Player of the Year in 1986. And I couldn't do what Tyson Bagent as a rookie was doing last week or in the preseason or at any time. So to me, he is one member of that football team, but doing what he does, like there's a kid that graduated high school that I helped get him a scholarship to go play college ball. And Brody Myers, his name. And he texts me, he goes, "What a game. And what do you think about Tyson Bagent?" And I said, "Awesomely efficient." And yet here's everybody, "Oh God, he's so good," but not really good because he's a game manager. No, he's not. He does what every good quarterback does. He takes what the defense gives him. Do you think he doesn't look downfield to throw deep passes? Do you think none were called? No. You make choices on whether to throw it or not throw it based on, like, he's getting paid to do exactly what he did. Why is he getting knocked down for it? I don't know. He's the first rookie quarterback to win a game since how long?
In the Bears uniform, a very long time in his opening game.
So, I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, he is one member of a football team that is very good at what he does.
And so you raised a lot of great points. He's a great game manager. He's efficient. He just got the job done. I mean, if you look at his stat line, he was 21 for 29. So pretty decent. I mean, 72% completion percentage, but only 162 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown, but he won the game. Is there anything that you saw from the clip that he can improve on? I mean, he is a rookie. There's obviously things he can improve on, but what's one thing that he can instantly improve on that would take him already to another level?
I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't really know. I mean, he got put in the game the week before and looked a little, jittery. Of course he would. I mean, and now he's got a full week to prepare for a game against the Raiders, who had Max Crosby, who, they've had some good games out of their 3 wins up until that point. And so, like I said, I think there's not much more I would change. There's nothing I would change, and there's not much more I could tell him, do this instead of that. So big games are going to come by you just taking what the defense gives you. What did you tell me? Because I don't know, but I know Kirk Cousins went over 300 yards this the other night, right, against San Francisco.
He did
early in the game. And does anybody equate Kirk Cousins with being a great down the field passer? No.
No, not really. Unless Justin Jefferson's out there.
But he actually is a great downfield passer. And so, but he's a great, I mean, I've studied Kirk Cousins now for several years. He is a great, he is Tyson Bagent, but not the athlete. And I don't know. I think Tyson Bagent is, like I said, when you're a guy here's a guy that played during my time that I thought made great decisions and was accurate, Steve Young. And did Steve Young, could he throw it 80 yards? Nope. He could throw it about 50, 55. And did he knock anybody over with how hard he threw it? Nope. but he made great decisions. He was a great athlete, and he delivered the ball like on time, and he didn't knock anybody over with it, but they went for a lot of yards after the catch. So I'll just ask you this. How many receivers did you see work hard to catch a ball by Tyson?
Defining working hard. I mean, Tyler Scott had a really nice grab on a no-look pass by Bagent, which landed right in Scott's chest over the field. He had to jump forward a little bit.
The one guy that had to jump for the ball?
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney.
And that was it.
One of the 21 completions.
Yep.
So, no, the guy does not, he knows how to play this game. So it's about time to me that after what he did in the preseason, after what he's done after this one start, I mean, you tell me, how's Tyson Bagent gotten in the way of winning a game so far?
I can't. I really can't.
No, there isn't. That's the answer. He doesn't. So if he just keeps doing what he's already done in the preseason and last game, if you want to say, if you're one of those people, not you personally, but if you're one of those people that say, oh, well, the second Justin Fields come back, the job's his. Well, okay, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I don't, but I think for the time being, in the games that Tyson Bagent is in the game, if you're a Bears fan, you better count yourself as damn lucky.
I like that. I like that. I like everything that you're comparing. I mean, comparing him to Steve Young and how he plays, that's a pretty big honor. And I'm sure that I know that you're going to the game on Sunday. Hopefully you get a chance to meet Bagent on the field, quarterback to quarterback. Hey, if he watches this and shouts it out, you got to let us know, Erik. But that's a very, very nice conversation for him to have. And, that's what you need. I mean, the Chargers defense is not that good right now. I mean, they're ranked 31st in a lot of different categories, even with Khalil Mack's 6-sack game against the Raiders. I don't know what that really speaks to anymore because the Raiders are 3-4, but are they 3-4 kind of deal? It's an interesting situation.
Well, it's kind of like this, though. If you break what used to be a 16-game, now 17-game season, but if you break the game up into chunks, it was easy when it's 16 because it's 4, 4, 4, 4. But if you take that approach to it, who's playing in the last 4 games? Forget the win-loss record in those 4. In the last 4 games, who's playing better than the Bears right now? So I mean, there's a lot of teams they stack up pretty well against, very well against.
Yeah, the defense is, coming alive. They're ranked 5th against the run. But in the last 3 games, the Bears are ranked number 1 against the run. They're ranked number 15 against the pass. And in overall points, they're 4th. So this defense, the monsters at the midway are slowly starting to come back on the defensive side of the ball. And the Bears are the number 1 rushing team over the last 3 weeks. So they're getting it done. And they're doing it with guys that have won. Deontay Foreman, who was a healthy scratch for 3 games. Why? No one really knows. Right. And then Darrington Evans, who came back to Chicago after last year and is doing a great job as well. He's moving the chains. He's not scoring, but he's getting the job done. This team could be, and Darnell Wright's playing with one arm. I mean, as your right tackle against Max Crosby.
Right.
The team is clicking, which is what I'm trying to say.
And you're doing a good job. And here's what I would say. I just came home. I was at the gym earlier, and a guy had on a Mamba mentality T-shirt, and in reference to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant used to own a sports academy not far from where I live, and it got me thinking how, everybody's so enamored sometimes with the guy's, physical. Everybody wants to look for how talented a guy is. Why is there no like grit and determination factor in the scouting situation? I don't understand that, because I would want a team of people who had the mindset of Tyson Bagent, or like last year with David Montgomery, in the few before that with him, Like that's who you want to build that mentality. Tevin Jenkins is a perfect example. You know, that to me that's what shows up. You know, it's like in a game if things are all going great, awesome. What about when you lose 3 or 4 in a row? And can you still, rely on your fundamentals, which travel everywhere with you, by the way? And can you rely on those? And can the guy next to you, and so on and so on? Do you have a team of those guys? And that's what I think the Bears are building. Like it, and that sort of thing. It takes time, as we're seeing, for practice habits and to meet opportunity and to kind of slowly over time get better incrementally, day after day, practice after practice, meeting after meeting. And then you start, and that's what we're seeing right now in these last several games. We're seeing progressions in different phases of the game. And that's encouraging. And, I gotta believe that most Bear fans watching this right now, watching the Bears perform these last several weeks, would agree that there's a lot of bright things going on right now, which is a big credit to the talent that they've amassed that's both through the draft and free agency, and what they've done with it in a relatively short amount of time, when basically everybody was looking to jump ship, including me, 3 or 4 games into this season.
Oh yeah. Hey, I was there too. I was like, do we start trading everybody already and getting as many picks as possible? But, we're entering Sunday night on, 2 of the last 3 and against a team that is beatable for the Chicago Bears. And like you kind of said, Tyson Bagent plays his game, where that's just one part of it about how he's been playing the last 2 games, or game in a half, pretty much.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Bears could do something. So Erik, we kind of hit on the offensive side of things, having grit, having determination, being efficient for the offensive side of the ball for the Bears. But what is it going to take for this Bears defense to stop Justin Herbert in that offense in order to help?
The same thing we did last game and the game before. Is stop the run and limit teams to, what have they limited teams to? Like under 50 yards, 2 games in a row, something like that, rushing the ball?
The Bears currently, over the last 3 games, are averaging only 25 yards rushing allowed.
Okay, great. So stop the run, which limits the play action game. You start pushing the pocket backward, and you make offenses predictable in what they do. This is what Matt Eberflus has always done. Like, you don't act surprised. He does this with whatever defense he's associated with, and that's without a premier pass rusher, or like they don't have a guy that is on pace to get 10 or 12, 14 sacks. They don't have that guy.
No.
Great. Push the pocket back, make quarterbacks uncomfortable, cover well, because they can do that, and create tip balls at the line of scrimmage, which lead to interceptions. Have receivers get blanketed by Jalen Johnson. Have when running backs turn up into a hole, make that hole very tight, and so there's a bounce back effect to, when a running back goes this way into the hole and he goes back out that way. That's the kind of defense that limits an offense. Passing the ball, running ball. You basically, with it, like going into the game, I guarantee you right now, I was about to say San Diego, LA, the Chargers are going, how are we going to move the ball? How are we? Because I don't see it right now. And I don't see the Chargers on offense as like unstoppable in any fashion.
Hey, I'll take it. If that's what the keys to the game are, I'll take it. And it sounds like you're pretty confident the Bears are going to win this game.
Fundamentals are the key to every game. And, and if you just keep doing them better and better and better, and if you put those fundamentals into a good system, then, and you make good decisions at the right time, meaning from the coaching staff on down, it's hard to lose. There's not every team does that.
So, Erik, it sounds like if I'm hearing you correctly, you're pretty confident the Bears can walk away with a win on Sunday night.
Yes, absolutely. I go to every Charger game at home. They're not unbeatable. Trust me.
Hey, that's what we like to hear the sound of, because the scouting report, there's a guy named Justin Herbert as a quarterback, but it sounds like he's got some people in his way, aka the head coach, that's not going to allow him to be the Justin Herbert we know he can be.
Yeah. I mean, you tell me, because and I've watched too, but I don't see Justin Herbert doing anything that Tyson Bagent doing. In fact, just the opposite. I see Tyson Bagent playing better than Justin Herbert.
I love that take. I'm going to clip that, Erik, just so you know. I'm going to clip that. And if after Sunday night, I'm going to throw it out there and be like, the man spoke himself. He knows better than all of us, especially being a Chargers season ticket holder and a former Chicago Bear and Bears fan. Erik, one question from the fans. So I posted out a tweet earlier today. If you could ask quarterback Erik Kramer any question, and I was asking for a friend, clearly, what would it be? And the one question that really stood out to me that was consistent was, what should the Bears do with a top 5 pick this upcoming draft? Where would you, as a GM, if you were the GM of the Bears, who would you take?
Well, there's a lot that goes into that, because you have to kind of figure out what the draft, are there any special players in the draft? And if so, like historically, how good? And based on free agency coming up, because the Bears also have, a ton of cap money to bolster the team. And so you have to kind of make the decision, where do we need the most help? In my opinion, the 2 defensive tackles that they drafted are it's early in the game for them, and they're bringing back results. Like they are part of that last 3 or 4 game stretch where they're becoming an issue for offenses. And you've got now a very rangy Tremaine Edmonds that's starting to show up defensively. And who's a JT Barrett, right? Not JT Barrett.
TJ Edwards.
TJ Edwards is starting to show up as a thumper on defense. And you've got playmakers on the outside. Stevenson, is showing up huge as a corner. So there is a internal grit to this defense that's now starting to show itself. So if you want to place your future, if there's an edge rusher, now that you've got some pocket pushers, if there's an edge rusher, at least one out there, that would be my guy. If there's a difference maker, if there's a Lawrence Taylor out there, if there's a guy that goes, okay, this one's different, that's the guy then. Because, edge rushers, cornerbacks, hard-hitting safeties that can cover as well, those are the difference makers on defense. And I know they went these last couple of drafts heavy defensively, but, to me, you can't go wrong there. And offensively, I don't know. I mean, you can't have too much offensive line depth. And we've now seen what's happened when 2 running backs go down and you've got a Donta Foreman waiting there in the wings. And now the running back you mentioned earlier, I remember Darrington Evans. So in Blasingame, is a fullback so underutilized it's not even funny. And so you've got a number of ways you can go. To me personally, I think you can save the pick on a quarterback, and I think in these next 2 to 3 games, if Tyson Bagent keeps playing, who knows? He could be the guy. Because I know where I feel for Justin Fields. I'm empathetic towards him because I have been him, not the number 1 pick, not the guy that's been showered with how great he is since high school. That wasn't me. But I've been replaced. And in this period of time, I know how difficult that can be. But at the same time, it also forced me to work harder. Not like I didn't work hard before, but I think it just took time of more reps and working with guys before and after practice and studying. And, hopefully over time that will add up to Justin fulfilling his promise. But in the meantime, I think that, Tyson Bagent is clearly got an opportunity here that I think we would all be knuckleheads to not recognize what actually is happening. Like in a town that has craved quarterback play, here you've got one and you're going, oh, well, that's fine and all, but when Justin Fields come back, he can go back to the bench. Well, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you teed it up really well. Craving a quarterback. We really haven't had a consistent quarterback play since you were on the Bears back in the early 90s, Erik. Two people asked if the Bears were to come calling you tomorrow about being a backup, how much money would it take for you to rejoin the team and put the pads on in today's
Well,
day
I
and
just
age?
had my third joint replacement, meaning I've got 2 hip replacements, which that was the right hip now, and a left knee replacement. So I'm not sure I could play, but I know that I could help Justin Fields or any quarterback really with the program I'm putting together out here. So hopefully that'll come to fruition. And quarterbacks like Justin Fields and at every position, this could become, part of their offseason training part or training destination, I should say.
Well, I'll make sure that we make sure Justin sees this right away. And then also, Bagent could be a special guest there as well if he keeps up this type of play.
He could be a player coach for sure.
Hey, I like the sound of that. So, Erik, thanks for this breakdown. This helps break it down from, a player's perspective, understanding the game and kind of the position that the Bears are in, especially entering Sunday night. But before we log off, Erik, got to ask you, what is your score prediction for this Sunday night's game?
Interesting. So coming off the 30-point performance they just put up, which really should have been 31 without the missed or blocked extra point, not sure they're going to return another touchdown defensively. But I would say the Bears have a very good chance at scoring 28. So I would say 28-17 in
And
favor
Bears
of
in the favor?
Mhm.
All right. All right, though. I'm going to put that prediction on Twitter because we're going to make sure everyone sees that. But Erik, thanks for always coming on. I know we're going to have you on in a couple weeks here when the Bears play the Lions, but this should be a fun game. Hope you have a lot of fun. And if you do get on the field, make sure that, you got to give us the in about what you talk about with Tyson Bagent and Justin Fields.
You got it. You got it. Will do. All right. Always good to be on with you.
Yes, and thank you guys for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside former Bears quarterback Erik Kramer, and we will see you guys next time.